While the rest of the industry argues about crunch, live service roadmaps, and how to squeeze another tenner out of cosmetics, a tiny indie team of 12 Polish developers spent 10 years making a unique shooter that just works. No battle passes, no daily challenges, no premium currency, no cosmetics, just guns, magic, progression, discovery, and that dangerous feeling when you keep telling yourself, just one more run at 2 AM. 90% positive Steam reviews from over 10,000 reviews, made by a studio that respects you enough to let you fail, adapt, and try again, and all for just 30 quid. This is Witchfire, made by the Astronauts, a studio based in Warsaw, and you know their work even if you don't know their name. These are the developers behind Painkiller and Bulletstorm, proper old school shooters that didn't apologise for being violent or difficult. When Epic bought their studio People Can Fly, Adrian Chmielarz and his team eventually walked away. Why? Because they got tired of watching the industry turn everything into a live service cash grab. So in 2012 they founded the Astronauts and made The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, a first-person mystery that trusted you to solve puzzles through discovery, exploration, and using your brain. And since then he and 11 other developers spent a decade making a game they actually wanted to play, a shooter unlike anything they've ever done before. Their philosophy comes down to what they call competence and autonomy. Trust the player to be good at games and give them the freedom to play the game how they want. No hand-holding, no artificial barriers, no systems designed to waste your time, just a game that assumes you're capable of adapting, evolving, and figuring things out. Now look, I love a good story-driven game, RPGs are my bread and butter, but sometimes you just want to pick up a controller, shoot things, get stronger, and do it again without some NPC explaining the 200-year lore of every door handle. Witchfire gets this. No lengthy cutscenes, no companions chattering in your ear, no quest logs full of fetch quests disguised as meaningful choice, just pure addictive gameplay. And it's a genre fusion that sounds mental on paper. It's a first-person shooter meets roguelite, meets single-player extraction shooter, meets Soulslike boss combat with light RPG mechanics thrown in on top. And that shouldn't work, but it does, and it works so well, because every system serves the core gameplay loop. You drop into a run, you fight through the map, you collect Witchfire, the game's currency, and face a choice. Push deeper for better rewards, or extract and spend what you've earned. Because you can't just level up mid-run like in Elden Ring, you have to end the run, extract with your Witchfire, and upgrade back at base. Which means every encounter becomes a question of, do I risk the boss fight now, and potentially lose everything, or do I play it safe, extract, and come back stronger? That tension is real. Anyone who's played a Souls-like knows that feeling, the moment when you're carrying more currency than you're comfortable losing. It's squeaky bum time. Every system in Witchfire is built around one principle: depth over grind. And don't get me wrong, there is grind, but it feeds into a much bigger system. For example, take the rosary beads. Similar to Bloodborne's Carol runes for build experimentation, you find these rosary beads scattered around the maps or as loot drops. Each bead changes how you play, more spell damage, faster reload speeds, elemental resistances, but the key bit, you're not locked in. You find a bead that doesn't work with your build, you can swap it out, or if you want to try something completely different, go exploring and find some new beads. It encourages both exploration and build diversity without punishing experimentation. The workshop is where you research and unlock new weapons and gear, and they've just recently ditched random progression entirely. No more praying to the RNG gods for the weapon that you want. You just research what you need when you need it for the build that you're planning, and there are loads of elemental synergies to discover, loads to experiment with. Even better, weapons have their own upgrade objectives. Each tier unlocks new perks and stats. It's progression you can see coming, not a slot machine. But the real stroke of genius is the Gnosis system. Most games punish you for leveling up by automatically scaling enemy difficulty. Witchfire lets you choose when you're ready for a bigger challenge. You increase your Gnosis level and new areas unlock, vaults, hidden sections, tougher enemies, dungeons. You're not just making fights harder, you're accessing content that you couldn't reach before. Earlier maps now suddenly have new secrets to discover. It's player autonomy enemy in action, you decide when you're ready, the game doesn't force you into it. Here's what blows my mind though, Witchfire is still in early access, it costs 30 quid and was made by just 12 people, and yet it runs better than most AAA games do at full launch. No shader compilation stutter, no texture pop-in, no mysterious frame drops when you look at a tree, it just works, and sadly in 2025 that's considered a huge positive. 90% positive Steam reviews across 10,000 players, that's the result of quality gameplay meeting technical performance. But here's where they really show their commitment. So they've been delivering massive content updates throughout the early access period. Ghost Galleon and the Wailing Tower came out in 2024, Witch Mountain earlier this year, and Webgrave just dropped in last month. It was a complete technical overhaul with new weapons, new maps and systems, and each update actually works on launch day. No emergency maintenance, no Twitter apologies, just solid quality updates that work. And meanwhile AAA studios are charging 70 quid for games that need 6 months of patches to reach basic functionality. And here's the astronauts charging half that for an early access title that's more polished than any of them. Witchfire doesn't apologize for being difficult, and it is difficult, but that's the point. Most modern games treat you like you're made of glass. Witchfire expects you to fail, learn, adapt, try again. The developers follow what they call the 3 paths to victory philosophy, borrowed from Soulsborne games. You can win through skill, smarts or power, perfect aim and movement, clever use of abilities and environmental knowledge, or grinding levels and better gear. But here's the key difference from something like Destiny. Enemies don't become literally immune if you're underleveled. No big red immune text patronizing you for even trying. If you're good enough, skilled enough, you can still win regardless of your level. And the game is hard, especially early on. You're not meant to clear every map on every run. You're meant to push as far as you can, die, extract what you've learned, and come back stronger. Not stronger because the game handed you a participation trophy, stronger because you actually got better at playing. And here's something you don't see often. The astronauts are active on Reddit, answering questions, taking feedback, actually implementing suggestions where they make sense. And when's the last time that we saw devs engaging honestly instead of going silent for months between patches that fix basic functionality? And that builds trust. But what Witchfire represents is the bigger story here. 12 developers, 10 years of development, no marketing blitz, no celebrity endorsements, no promises about changing gaming forever. Just a shooter that works, respects you, and delivers exactly what it promises. While major studios throw hundreds of millions at live service disasters that shut down after 6 months, these Polish developers quietly built something that lasts. Proof that quality, passion, and clear creative vision trumps any budget or glossy marketing campaign. This isn't just another indie success story, it's a manifesto in gunpowder, pain, and quality. And if this came from a major publisher, it would be twice the size, double the price, half the quality, and buried under seasonal content and premium currencies. Witchfire probably won't hit 10 million players, it might never make AAA money, but it proves something that the industry forgot. You can build a loyal community by just making something with passion, not by manipulating people to stay logged in. These are the games that we should support, games made with the sole purpose of delivering quality, not siphoning wallets. It's what happens when developers still care about the craft. Witchfire isn't just a great shooter, it's a rejection of everything wrong with modern game design. And if you want more honest coverage of games that actually matter, not because someone paid me to say it, but because they're actually worth your time, then subscribe. Otherwise, go play Witchfire, support developers who still care about quality, because it still matters, even if the industry pretends it doesn't. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.